Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if I can ask you all to be seated. Put those phones away and we're going to get started. So I'd now like to formally introduce myself. My name is Renee Milthorpe and I'm a registered civil celebrant, and it's my extreme pleasure to be the celebrant for today's occasion. Who in a million years would have thought we had weather this great after the weather that we've had this week? I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit nervous and thought to myself, oh geez, what are we going to do here? But it's turned on pretty well, I think. And you know what? You're not even too hot in a suit. The weather is perfect. And it's good, isn't it? Now, we meet here today on a very special land. Now, Grace, she came from her country. Now, I'm going to try and get it. Country. Now, that's in the west. Josh, well, he came from down in country Melbourne here, so he was on a different part. But together we meet here in our national park, which is a very special area here. We meet here, and these people of our local Koori community speak from the Durga language, and that means, and the meaning of this national park is actually the Bay of Plenty. Now, Josh and Grace would like to acknowledge the Koori people which are the owners and the first people here at our national park and the Wreck Bay, and they'd like to use this moment to acknowledge our acknowledgement of country and pay our respects to the elders, past and present, and to acknowledge that it always was and always will be Aboriginal land. Now, I, Renee Milthorpe, am duly authorised by law to solemnise marriages according to law. Before you're both joined in marriage in my presence, as well as the presence of your wonderful witnesses here today, I want to remind you of the formal and binding nature of the relationship you're about to enter into. Marriage, according to the law of Australia, is the union of two people, with exclusions to all others, and voluntarily entered into for life. Today is about you two officially becoming husband and wife and celebrating your love with the people that mean the most to you. Your friends, your family, your community. These people here have shared in your best and worst days, and they're an irreplaceable part of all of your tomorrows. Marriage is ugly. You see the absolute worst in someone. You see them when they're mad, when they're sad, when they're stubborn, when they're so unlovable at times they make you want to scream. But you also get to see them when they are laughing so hard that the tears run down their face and they're making that gut belly noise that you then start laughing again just at each other laughing. You get to see them at 3 a.m. when the rest of the world is asleep and it's just the two of you on the kitchen floor having a good laugh together. You get to see that side of them that no one else does. It's not always pretty. It's the snorting when they're laughing. It's the tears when everything feels like it comes crashing down. It's the snoring, it's the bad breath, it's the random dances, it's the anger, it's the joy. Marriage isn't a beautiful thing, it's amazing. It's knowing that someone loves you so much that it doesn't matter what you say or what you've done, they always have your back. It's the stupid little fights like over who didn't put the dish into the dishwasher or who didn't pick up after themselves and put their dirty laundry into the washing machine. It's having those nights, though, when you also fall asleep in each other's arms, knowing that it doesn't matter what else is going on in the world right now, you're together. It's cleaning up their vomit when they're sick or rubbing their back. It's the dirtiest, hardest, but it's the most rewarding job that you will have, because at the end of the day, you get to crawl into bed with your best friend, your favourite weirdo, your most annoying, loving, goofy best friend, the perfect person to you. Marriage isn't beautiful, it's one heck of a ride, and your ride is about to start today. Now, it was 2010 when a Melbourne boy was in his final year in Western Australian Academy of Performing Arts, and a gorgeous girl was in her first year, and they worked on a few shows together at uni. The two I'm talking about, obviously, is Josh and Grace, and there to witness this summer romance was Kirby. Now, Josh said he loved Grace's eyes from the moment they met, and I think we can all agree they are stunning. While Grace thought Josh was so cool. He was there from Melbourne, he travelled the world, he knew so much of the world, she thought he was great. Now, 2010 seems like a while ago, so they actually can't even remember where their first date was. But this little thing was meant to be a summer fling in Western Australia before Josh left for work in Sydney. It was hanging out at the beach, going swimming, trying to find aircon to stay cool in that Western Australian heat. So they pretty much agreed that the first date was most probably going to get a frozen Coke at Macca's, watching a movie at the cinemas, all those places with air conditioning, as well as driving around in Josh's ridiculously cool white Toyota Camry. However, when Josh left WA for Sydney, Grace knew straight away she missed him. She was in love with this guy. For Josh, he landed in Sydney for work and he was missing something in life. And that something was Grace. He needed Grace by his side. So, he flew back to WA to be with Grace. Then together in 2012, they moved to Sydney together as a couple, crazy in love and ready to take on the world together as a couple. That same year, they travelled to America. They have achieved the Aussie dream and purchased their home together in 2019. And of course, they became a family of 3 by getting their dog as well. That's what you have to do. It's very important. They've also travelled around New Zealand together and created loads of great moments in life together. Now, as a couple, I think we can all agree they have a relationship with fun, laughter, happiness and love. They enjoy travelling together, exploring, seeing new bits and pieces, seeing shows, obviously, going to fancy restaurants and even trying out some crazy new food. The average weekend for these two, though, is taking the dog for a walk, going to a cafe for some coffee, sussing out the markets, netball and hockey, and hanging out with all of you. They're people that mean the most to them. Now, life seems perfect, doesn't it? But as I say, and I think any couple that's here today can agree, we all annoy each other one way or the other. It's not always champagne and pavlova every single day. And being with these two in a car, well, I think it would almost be like car karaoke over in the US. Grace hates Josh's driving. It makes her sick. She feels so car sick. While Josh said he gets so annoyed with how easily Grace gets car sick, he says 10 minutes into the trip, but then she's complaining that she feels sick, but she's also the same person that refuses to drive and sits in the front seat and complains the whole way to the destination. Yet they balance and complement each other out in many ways. Grace, she's the team social manager. Josh is the rock, always supporting Grace, especially in her journey to achieve her PhD. Josh is organised, Grace is spontaneous. Josh is grounded, Grace is emotional. And that's what makes them the couple that they are. You can't have two people the same because life would be boring. So when I ask these two, what do they love about each other and the relationship that they've created? Grace says she loves that Josh gets up in the night to look after the dog or to get her a water or to check that the front door's even locked. Again, every night. I'm that one as well. Yeah. She loves that Josh brings her a cup of tea while she's studying late at night. She says she loves that Josh came back to Perth for her. Didn't leave her behind because together they've created an amazing life together. So what does Josh love about this gorgeous girl? And that's loads, but we all don't want to be here all night. We want to have a few drinks. He says he loves that Grace will drop everything if Josh needed it to. He loves that Grace's passion for cheese. I'm with you on that one. Grace's ability to maintain and empathise with so many different things. Her passion and watching her succeed. He said it's amazing. He loves that Grace moved to Sydney for him and together they've become one hell of a team. Now, it was Christmas 2019 when Josh suggested that the two of them go for a walk at Grace's favourite childhood beach. She was confused at why he would ask such a silly question when there was a cheese plate in front of her. The audacity of him. Luckily, she agreed. And did you take it like a slice of cheese on the way? Yeah, I would have too. He eventually got her down to the beach, and it was there that he asked that huge question of, will you marry me? Grace said, yes, of course, backed it up with a smile, And then there was tears, she said. So many tears that she even confessed it was an ugly cry. But I said, you know what, darling, you've got a gorgeous diamond ring and an amazing proposal, so it doesn't matter. Now, the plan for the next 5 years for these two, well, it's travelling more together as a couple. It's having a doctor in the house. It's more celebrations as a family, more dogs, more time with their friends and family, more cocktails, and to live happily ever after. Now, I'd like to invite forward a very special lady to come forward for our prayer for today.
I don't want to stand on your dress. It's just wonderful to see everyone here, isn't it? For those of you who would like to, let us pray. Love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it is not rude, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. We are grateful that we can celebrate together and share our love for Grace and Josh and for one another today. We are also grateful that Grace and Josh's love for each other has brought two families and many friends together, joining us all with you on your wonderful marriage journey. We are all bound in relationship to you, each in our own unique way, and through those relationships we have grown to love you both. We trust that our love for you and happiness at this day will travel with you and give you strength and reassurance. We pray that as you experience challenges and trials through your lives together, you will know that all of our love is constant, eternal, and unwavering. Rest easy in the knowledge that all of us are with you in body and spirit, to provide practical and emotional help, to laugh and cry with, to hold your hands, to cook and sew for you, to game with you, to help build your material world, and to reassure and to comfort you. We give thanks, Lord, that you continue to bestow blessings upon all of us. We hope that joy, peace, and contentment surround Grace and Josh, and that all who enter their home will know the strength of their love. We pray this in all the names of God. Amen.
That was beautiful. Thank you. A round of applause, please. I know we don't usually have an applause after something, but that was beautiful. Thank you. So now we get to the serious part. Joshua Simon, do you take Grace Emily to be your wife? Will you love, support, respect and cherish her for the great rest of your life?
I do. You got me.
And Grace, do you take Joshua to be your husband? Will you love, support, respect and cherish him for the rest of your life?
I do.
Vow time, and you're up first, Josh. So one hand here,
Yep.
one hand holding Grace's hand.
Yep.
And call upon the people here to witness.
I call upon the people here to witness that I, Joshua Simon Neufeld, take you, Grace Emily Nye Butler, to be my lawful wedded wife. I, Josh, choose you, Grace, to be my wife, best friend, and soulmate. I promise to walk beside you and cheer you on. I promise to inspire you to be the best you can be, and I will always fight for your dreams. In your time of need, I will be there, by your side, lifting you up, helping you through. I promise to forgive quickly, to love easily, and I will never shut you out. Life has taught us that love does not consist in gazing at each other, but in looking together in the same direction. I promise to chase adventure with you, to travel, seek joy and laughter. I promise to grow with you, learn from you, and love you unconditionally. Loving you is a privilege. For the rest of our lives, whereas there is a choice, I promise to choose you.
I call upon the people here to witness that I, Grace Emily Nye Butler, take you, Joshua Simon Neufeld, to be my lawfully wedded husband. I, Grace, choose you, Josh, to be my husband, my best friend, and my soulmate. I promise to walk beside you and cheer you on. I promise to inspire you to be the best you can be, and I will always fight for your dreams. In your time of need, I will be there by your side, lifting you up and helping you through. I promise to forgive quickly, to love you easily, and I will never shut you out. Life has taught us that love does not consist in gazing at each other, but in looking together in the same direction. I promise to chase adventure with you, to travel, to seek joy and laughter. I promise to grow with you, to learn from you, and to love you unconditionally. Loving you is a privilege. For the rest of our lives, where there is a choice, I promise to choose you.
Now, there's two very special ladies here I'd like to invite to come forward with our wedding rings. So if I could please ask Grace's mum as well as Josh's mum to come forward and present their child's wedding ring. These two mums come to our ceremony today proud, watching their son, watching their daughter get married, wishing them a lifetime of happiness as husband and wife. Now, Grace, if you can hold your hand out for me, please. Josh, if you can please repeat after me.
I give you this ring as a symbol of our love as husband and wife.
No, you're good.
And Josh, if you can hold your hand out, your trembling hand. Sorry, I'm giving you more pressure now.
I give you this ring as a symbol of our love as husband and wife.
Now, before I pronounce you both husband and wife, there's one little thing I like to do. Your wedding day goes past so fast. 1 minute you're getting ready, the next minute you know they're calling it last drinks. So, first of all, I'd like you to have a look around at all the amazing people that are here today. Give them a wave, say hi. This is your community. This is your friends, your family. Every single person here respects the love that you two have for each other, and they are always behind you, backing you in your love and your decision as husband and wife. Now turn around and face each other. And I want you to look at each other and think of the happiness and the love that you're feeling right now. Every person here hopes that you two feel that love for 10 years, 20 years, a lifetime as husband and wife. John Lennon once said, "A dream that you dream alone is only a dream. However, a dream that you dream together, now that's reality." And Josh and Grace's reality is about to start right now. Their yesterdays were the path to today. So they'll continue on that path, growing in strength and in unity, but as husband and wife. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, by the power vested in me by the Commonwealth of Australia, I proudly pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss. You promise you're not going to ugly cry? Now, we're going to sign some paperwork. We won't be too long. If we can have our two wonderful witnesses come over to our signing table, we'll only be a couple of moments, ladies and gentlemen. Come over this way.
I've been waiting for the tides to change, for the waves to send you my way. I see you, darling, but you pixelate. It gets hard to take these days. But we'll hold the line, I won't let go, 'cause I'll be there when you can finally make it home. And I don't mind, 'cause we both know that we'll be fine when you can finally make it home. Because when I'm in a room with you, that missing piece is found. You know when you're by my side, darling, nothing can break us down. I remember happy wasted days, summer's golden haze in our eyes, lifting you above the breaking waves, memories floating back to my mind. You say, hold the line, I won't let go, 'cause I'll be there when you can finally make it home. And I don't mind, 'cause we both know that we'll be fine when you can finally make it home. Because when I'm in a room with you, that missing piece is found. You know when you're by my side, darling, nothing can break us down. It's like when you're far away from me, I get lost in the crowd. Because when I'm in a room with you, that missing piece is found. Oh, waste a minute when you're here, and we're finally in the clear. When every day is like the last, I just keep holding fast. Because when I'm in a room with you, that missing piece is found. You know when you're by my side, darling, nothing can break us down. It's like when you're far away from me, I get lost in the crowd. Because when I'm in a room with you, that missing piece is found.
This will be an everlasting love. This will be the one I've waited for. This will be the first time anyone has loved me. Oh, I'm so glad he found me in time, and I'm so glad that he rectified my mind. This will be an everlasting love for me. Oh, loving you is so kind of wonderful, because you've shown me just how much you care. You've given me the thrill of a life.
So I can see everyone started to get their petal confetti. So first of all, if we can be upstanding. Now, the aim of the game is once these two walk down the aisle as husband and wife, it's to throw that confetti nice and high in the air, not at Josh's head, okay? I know. And look, if someone gets that, you get yourself an extra beer tonight, but we'll go from there. So, tradition, we're going to go with a little bit of tradition here today. Once I announce these two as husband and wife, we're going to smash the glass and then they're going to walk down as husband and wife. So, a massive clap and cheer as we announce these two as husband and wife. Let's do this.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, guys. How great it is to see you all here, and welcome to those joining us from home via Zoom from all over the world. Hey. It's so incredible that we get to share this amazing day with Grace and Josh. And I'd just like to acknowledge the traditional people on this land who are celebrating the Koori people. All right, so as I'm sure all of you know, COVID has provided some serious obstacles for Grace and Josh organising this day. And trying to plan that, and one of those things was that their MCs couldn't make it today. Yeah, so they started asking around, asking their friends, you know, seeing who could fill the role. So at first, they asked their funniest friend, and they said no. And then they asked their most charming friend, and they said no. Then they asked their best looking friend, and of course again they said no. So then they asked me, and I've already turned them down 3 times, so I can't refuse again. So with that, my name is Holly, if I haven't met you already, and I'm going to be your MC tonight. Oh, thanks, guys. So we're going to start the night with a few speeches, and then we're going to sit down for what I'm sure will be a glorious meal. We'll welcome a few more speakers up, and then we'll cut some cake and some shapes on the dance floor. Yeah, all right. I just have a few housekeeping things if you're not sure already, guys. The bathroom's just located at the back of the hall. There is a photo booth outside, which I'm sure we'll all take much advantage of after some champagnes, if you haven't already. And also, if you've got a card or presents for Grace and Josh, there's a wishing well over here just near the speakers. And that's enough of looking at me. I think it's about time that we welcome in the bridal party. Woo! All right, bridesmaids, Janine, Kirby, and Kate. Woo! Best man, Chris.
All right, okay. Return to the Mac. Get up what it is, what it does, what it is, what it isn't. Looking for a better way to get it.
All right, let's give one more round of applause for the bridal party. Yes. So, Grace and Josh, where do I even start? They are honestly the most devoted friends I could ever ask for. And I'm sure that all of you are just as grateful as I am to have them in your lives. So let's celebrate 2 new beginnings. And without further delay, the moment we've been waiting for like 11 years for, am I right? Please welcome Grace and Josh! Woo!
On a balcony in summer air.
Stand up, guys! Yeah!
See the party, the ball game. See you make your way through the crowd and say hello. Little did I know that you were Romeo, you were throwing pebbles in my
All right, pause for photos. Here we go. Famous. You two are absolutely perfect, and that song was perfect for you. I couldn't have picked a better one. So with that, everyone, I would now like to welcome our first speech of the night, all the way from the UK. Welcome, Chris!
We're good? Cool, perfect. Good evening, everybody. My name's Chris, and today I have the pleasure of being Josh's best man. Josh and Grace have been together for a very long time, and I think we'd all can agree this wedding is very long overdue. Some circumstances outside of our control, some definitely within Josh's control. I'd like a show of hands of this. When Josh finally proposed, who else is thinking, geez, mate, what took you so long? Dear. Before I begin my speech, I'd like to make some acknowledgements. Thank you to all the bridesmaids. For all of your support, you've provided Grace in preparing for today, and most importantly, for organising a heads night so eventful that Grace took 48 hours to recover and post all the photos. At least the non-incriminating ones. Thank you to everybody who's travelled interstate or internationally to join us today for this beautiful event. We're also very deeply saddened for those that couldn't join us from Perth, Melbourne, Israel and the UK. And finally, a big thank you to Grace's parents, Brett and Sue. And to Max and Adele. Where are we? This day has been a long time coming, a lot of ups and downs. Thank you for your support. It has been invaluable through to this moment. Now on to the speech. How I met Josh. I've known Josh a long time. When Josh asked me to be his best man, when was it, early last year? Oh, I forgot now. It's whoosh. It got me reminiscing on the circumstances to which we met. So I've known Josh for 15 years now? We met each other at Coles supermarkets in Glenferrie. I was stacking apples. He was the checkout chick. A very good-looking one, he says. I have memories of Josh and I wandering back through the supermarket at 11 o'clock at night after having a few drinks because we thought it was cool. Josh, being Josh, walks over to the duty manager and starts taking photos with him. Yeah, as you do. What he does next really defined our friendship. He gets up onto the checkout conveyor belt and starts to pose looking something like this. From that moment onwards, I realised Josh was going to be a good friend. Getting to know Josh. Shortly after that period, Josh moved to WA, as we all heard earlier on today, to pursue a university degree in lighting. I don't know the finer details, so don't quiz me. We rekindled back in 2012 when Josh moved to Sydney with Grace, and I'd moved there recently for work as well. So over the next decade or so after that, we got to know each other pretty well. And I guess there's three ways I'd like to describe or characterise Josh. The first one being funny, the second one being loyal, and the third one being selfless. Funny and witty. We can all agree, Josh is a barrel of laughs. Wait for it. Whether it be cracking jokes, often at my expense, because we all know, A, I don't have a filter, and B, I say some pretty weird stuff. Or at the expense of the kids we play PlayStation against online. It always makes my day when Josh elicits a response from the kids from being an online troll. Loyal. Josh is the top shelf friend. He's very loyal to his family, his fiancée, now wife, his friends, and even his hockey team. Josh did his ACL playing hockey a few years ago, ironically from sliding into his own keeper. This is a tough year for Josh, with Josh and the ensuing recovery. However, it did not stop him from coming along to coach our hockey team, which is currently in Sydney's lowest grade. There are some groups that aren't meant to be coached, and we are most definitely one of them. Nevertheless, he showed up week in and out to coach our team, at least try and tell us what to do. Yeah, not good. Third one, selfless. To put it simply, Josh cares a lot about other people and goes out of his way to reach, keep in touch with people, and look after others. For those that don't know, I work in consulting, and to say I work some hours is a bit of an understatement. But often, Josh kept me honest. Made sure I was doing okay, we were catching up frequently, and just, being selfish. Okay? He made time. He'd often, come out from, where he is now in southern Sydney and all out to northern Sydney to come and see me. Not many friends would do that. I'll share an example of Josh's selflessness. At the tail end of last year, when I was moving to London, he was watching the border situation a lot more closely than I should have been, and all the COVID situation, just so I can make it here today. About 2.5 weeks ago, I got COVID. I'm free now, don't worry. And I went into panic mode because I wasn't sure if I was going to make it here tonight. Apparently half of you actually know that story already, but moving on. So Josh proceeded to do all this research to find all the different ways I could possibly make it here tonight, including doctor certificates, COVID tests, the requirements, the lot. I was overwhelmed. But nevertheless, I changed my flight 3 times. There was even a risk I still wasn't going to make it. That phone call I made to Josh, I was scared shitless. But he was supportive and very, very understanding of this situation. We would have both been devastated if I couldn't make it here tonight. Look, it is what it is. But instead of being devastated and making me feel bad about it, he insisted I focus on getting better, and focus on getting myself here. You were checking on me daily, just swapping on the other side of the world. Out of sight doesn't always mean out of mind. Okay? I'm going to finish up here with the toast. So everyone please raise your glass. Josh, Grace, get a drink, will you? Can someone please get Josh and Grace a drink? You've already had 3 of those, mate. Moderate. Josh, Grace, we wish you a long, safe and happy marriage. Please look after each other. We all hope you have a fantastic evening. Thank you very much. Cheers. Next up is Max. Please come up and join us.
We did the intro, we're just waiting on the bevy. You okay? Oh, okay, sure.
It's all right. I'm not ready yet. It is the great pleasure and honour for a parent to welcome all guests to the wedding of their children, and I welcome you to this happiest of occasions. It is truly wonderful to see family and close friends here celebrating this wedding, enjoying and participating in a major step in the lives of this young couple who are formally committing to each other. It is obvious that to anybody who knows them well that they are deeply in love. This wedding is a tonic for our souls, which have languished over the past 2 years. I would like to formally greet family and friends who have travelled long distances to be here, from Israel, Singapore, London, east and west coasts of America, and particularly those who've come from interstate. Your presence has enriched our celebration. There are those who could not make it to the wedding, and I need especially to mention Josh's Bubba, Hannah, who will hopefully be watching through the video link, and we say, hi Bubba, we wish you were here with us. It is also my responsibility to remember those loved ones who are no longer with us. but whose presence remains within our hearts. Zeta Bill, who passed away just weeks after Josh was born. My mother, Nonna Olga, who passed away 18 years ago. And my father, our beloved Zeta Henrik, who was fortunate to live a long life and have a special loving relationship with his grandchildren. Our greatest loss, of course, is not having Rebecca, our baby girl, here today to celebrate with us. Her loss has left a devastating hole in our lives, but I know that she would want us to celebrate this day as she would celebrate it. To love you all as she most definitely would love you all, and especially for Josh and Grace, to share this great day with you both. You are in our hearts today, Rebecca, as well as the other family members no longer with us. From the first time I met Grace, I knew there was something special about her. It was the hair. We had never had a Scandinavian blonde in the family, and I found myself staring at it. It was mesmerising. And then when we discovered that she loved our homegrown pickles, we knew that she was all right. But seriously, Grace's demeanour, her interests and values, and close family relationships must have appealed to Joshua. Grace has terrific people skills, both personable and administrative. Most times. I am certain that she could herd cats. She exudes warmth, compassion and intelligence. Her knowledge and advocacy for the environment, particularly the marine world, is admirable. Grace knows that we love her and that she's an integral part of our family already, and we are delighted to have Sue, Brett and Kate in our extended family. I'm obliged to say a few words about Josh, our son, who has grown to be a fine young man. Like Grace, he is responsible, has a social conscience, a moral compass, is family orientated and committed to family. Despite living interstate, he makes every effort to attend and celebrate all family functions and to be with us when we are in need, be it physically or emotionally. He has a great sense of humour, which he gets from me. That's a joke. And a keen interest in sport. From a young age, he displayed a love of theatre, films and musical. This love drew him to the theatre at Mount Scopus College, where he initially started learning about the technical skills of sound. That is, until one day when he came home from school and said, "I'm doing lighting now. Sound is for dummies." Sorry guys. Sorry guys. And so the career was launched. He moved to Perth at 18 to undertake a 3-year course in theatre lighting at Whopper, where he met Grace. He's worked on several theatre productions at the Opera House and Sydney Theatre Company for a number of years, and recently joined a private school to take on the challenge of setting up and running their new theatre. Ever since being a small child, he has told us, "Don't worry, I know what I'm doing." I have every confidence that he does. Being the mother of a child has its trials and tribulations, its satisfactions and stresses, its nurturing and educating, its exhilarations of happiness, and the heavy drag of tiredness and broken sleep. Parenting is more about quantity time than quality time, and I would like to thank Adele for being Josh's mother in all these times. Josh is close to his mother, and I see a lot of Adele in Joshua. Slightly reserved, quiet compared to me, intelligent, a person who thinks things through rationally, can reason, is slow to anger, and has perspective on what is important in life. These traits will assist him in marriage and the journey of life to come. Finally, it is my duty to impart a few words of wisdom about marriage. In 2 weeks, Adele and I celebrate 40 years of marriage, so I have licence. Someone said, a successful marriage requires falling in love many times, always with the same person. Success in marriage relies on two people who can compromise and forgive, find companionship and counsel as well as love. Marriage changes as we change with age. It evolves, waxes and wanes, as does the relationship. But marriage, like life in general, has its highs and lows, excitement and boredom, sweetness and bitter experiences. And love is the thread that keeps us together through it all and binds the marriage for your journey together through the years. Grace and Josh, you have lived together for several years now and know each other well. The transition to married life should be seamless, and Adele and I wish you both much love as you journey forward as a married couple. I now wish to make a toast to two lovely people, Brett and Sue, parents of our lovely bride. Please raise your drinks. I don't have a drink, but that's all right. I'll drink plenty later. To Brett and Sue.
Thank you, Max and Adele. That was beautiful. Can I please ask the lovely Kate, my butler, to come and take the stage?
Always a hard act to follow, Max. Thank you. I hope that people aren't starting to feel like these speeches are getting a little bit repetitive, because I feel like we're all touching on the same themes. But I also think that's testament to how well we know your story. And how well the people in the room know each other as well. So bear with me. Okay, so before I begin, I'd like to thank everyone who has made this day come together for Grace and Josh and our two families. Mum and Dad, Max and Adele. Max and Adele, thank you for the warmth with which you have always welcomed Grace into your family, and in recent years also myself. From me personally as well, I'd like to say thank you to your friends, Grace. Thank you for having me along on your hands, and I guess with the openness with which we've spent time together since I've been in Sydney the last couple of days. Thank you for your contribution to setting up tonight and the celebration so far. Particularly living in another city and not being able to spend a lot of social time with you guys. It's very special for me as her sister to be able to come and see who her community is, so thank you. I mean, you can clap whenever you like, it's fine. Just go slower. Dinner's coming. All right, so Romeo and Juliet met and fell in love in 3 days. George and Amal Clooney were engaged after 6 months. Cameron Diaz and Benji Madden dated for 5 months, got engaged and were married 17 days later. All of these couples are still together. I Googled it before I put them in. Kerry Mulligan married Mumford & Sons frontman Marcus Mumford 6 months after their first date. In contrast, my sister and Josh dated for so long that when she heard the news of their engagement, my late grandmother's response was, well, it's about time. But I want to reflect on the beginning. I want you to cast your minds back to Northbridge in 2010. A deep drum and bass note is pumping. And although it is early, girls are already starting to carry their heels through the streets in search of a garlic kebab. My sister has dragged Kirby down to the Dean to watch a young Joshua Neufeld work the crowd. Well, I don't know if it was a DJ who did the lights. He did something a bit cool at the Dean, you know? That's why the girls were there. Just when I thought our family's bogan roots couldn't run any deeper, I was informed at Grace's Hens Night that at this time, her drink of choice was a Smirnoff Black with a shot of pink grenadine poured in top. Barbie's UDL, if you will. Given this setting, it's no surprise that when I asked my sister what first attracted her to Josh, she spoke about his air of sophistication and a sense he was well-travelled. When it's 2010 and you meet someone who is not only from Melbourne, but has just done a Kentucky tour in Europe. That's it. You text the girls on MSN Messenger and tell them you've hit the jackpot. Grace and Josh met at Whopper in Perth when she was in her first year and he was in his third. They quickly got together, and at this time, Josh began to come to more and more family events. The most important of these, of course, was Christmas. His polite response to my recent questions about what he remembered from this was that it was different. But I will say now that the enthusiasm with which my brother-in-law attacks a cracker and wears a hat is unparalleled in the Nye Butler household. Josh is now solely responsible for bringing the Christmas pudding, which is a very high honour in white bogan circles. Early in their relationship, Josh moved to Sydney to begin his career, and after doing long distance together, Grace made the decision to move over and join him, and as you know, they've been there ever since. Josh has spoken to me about the time that they've had together as being one where they've both grown up. In that time, I've seen both of you move cities, move jobs, and in some ways change your focus quite radically, from theatre to marine science, from touring across various countries to establishing a theatre and a school, from moving around on tour to raising a dog in Ramsgate Beach. But in amongst all of this, you have constantly turned up and continued to choose each other. Grace has spoken about the unrelenting support that Josh has given her for her work, supporting her with whatever she needs to achieve what she wants both in work and in life. They've both separately spoke to me about admiring the other's passion, drive and ambition, and both of you used the same words to describe each other. Spooky. Yeah, prepared notes. I want to quote from Esther Perel, who's a Jewish psychotherapist who has made it her life's work to explore our understanding of modern love. Her experiences led her to understand that the quality of our life is determined by the quality of our relationships. Esther tells us that love is a verb. It's not a permanent state of enthusiasm. It's not about finding the right person, it's about being the right person. If you just want to be dazzled, then you will have an adventure. You will be infatuated. You will have a love story, maybe, but you won't have a life story. And a life story is different than a love story. So many weddings celebrate the beginnings of a couple's life together, but tonight's a little bit different because instead tonight we celebrate the continuation of a relationship that has been successful for over a decade. So please join me tonight in toasting to Grace and Josh's life story. Thank you.
Awesome. I'm not sure about you guys, but I definitely let out a few belt loops on that one. Cool. Don't laugh at me. I was being serious. So we're just going to welcome up a couple of other speakers to give some speeches. We'll just wait for the old stragglers. Also, guys, this wedding was planned to 5-minute increments. All right, and we're running very much on time. I mean, we're maybe 7-8 minutes late, but congratulations. You're killing it. Awesome. So our first speakers up, I'm going to introduce the bridesmaids, Janine and Kirby.
Lovely. You go first. Ooh, how are we going to do the mic? We just have to toss it. That will be interesting.
Hello, I'm Kirby.
And I'm Janine. And we are two of Grace's best friends.
And today we are so very proud and honoured to be two of Grace's bridesmaids on such a special day. Grace and Josh both decided it was a good idea to choose their bridal party from across the globe. Kate coming from Melbourne, myself from Perth, Janine from Singapore, and our wonderful best man Chris, who's travelled from London, as you heard earlier. We do want to give Chris a special shout out for coming from halfway across the world, even though he's not here. We know how much it means to you guys, and so of course we made the journey. So let's hear it for Chris, all of us, and everybody who's made a trip to be here today.
Obviously, Kirby and I love Grace more than anything in this entire world. So we also really want to thank Max and Adele for welcoming Grace into the warm and open family that you are. And it's been fantastic to be able to spend more time with you and know that whenever Grace needs anything, because obviously I might not be here and Kirby's going to be in Perth, then there's always family for her all over Australia and the world, really.
And we also, of course, want to thank Sue and Brett for raising such an amazing daughter. It might have looked a bit dubious there occasionally throughout the years, how she might have turned out. But looking at this stunning woman in front of us today, it's clear to see that you've both done such an incredible job, both with Grace and with Kate. And we couldn't be happier sharing this day with you guys as well.
Well, I met Grace when she decided to pivot her career from the arts, which was wonderful, to science, where she decided that she wanted to turn this entire dumpster fire of a world into a sustainable paradise. Definitely something worth doing. And wow, what a force of nature she is. I can't say it enough, Grace is an incredible friend. She's kind and she's driven and she's reliable. And you know it, it's been a crazy time together. I love her more than anything, and I truly think she's the best of us. So, and honestly, I'm just glad that I got to be a part of it.
Don't cry. 12 long years ago, I met a fair-haired, sassy, driven, clever, spirited, warm, outgoing, kind, playful, adventurous, genuine, incredible young lady who I was instantly drawn to when we were both at Whopper. Over the years, we've worked in different cities, countries, and industries, and I just love how much we have grown and changed over time, and yet somehow managed to maintain a friendship over these last 12 years. I think that the crazy and intense time that we did have at Whopper was probably a really good foundation for a great friendship, and it's certainly done us well.
Now, Kirby and I both agree that it's been really amazing watching Grace and Josh create a life together over the past few years. And personally, I feel really lucky that I got to be a part of it. I helped them create part of their life in their beautiful Ramsgate house from top to bottom. I painted the ceilings, I painted the walls, and occasionally I painted the floors. I am very sorry. But it was really incredible to watch you guys create something very special together. And with you and Pepper all together, and occasionally a Kirby, it's become a very happy home. And I really want to thank you guys for occasionally bringing me to the world-famous IKEA to get to be a deciding vote on furniture when necessary.
Aside from the times where I've often just been over for wine and cheese, I recently spent a lot of time in Grace and Josh's new home, living with them during an unexpected lockdown. We were forced to stay home, including working from home, just the three of us and Pepper, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for almost 7 weeks, before I escaped home to Perth. Even though I've known Josh for longer than I've known Grace, after living with them, I do feel, not sure about how you feel, Josh, but I feel that we have become a lot better friends. Josh taught me the proper way to walk Pepper. He and I did often vote 2 against 1 to Grace about what to watch on TV. And he was also great when I hurt myself and Grace wasn't home to look after me. So he did spring into action and save the day after I burst into tears in front of him. I'm just so very lucky to have been staying with them through such a difficult time, and it's just such a testament to them as a couple and as friends how amazing they are.
All in all, we love you. Together and apart, forever. So if everyone can just raise their glass and toast the happy couple. To the happy couple. Cheers.
Whoa, watch out. Thanks, girls. That was so great. I would now like to welcome the mother and father of the bride, Sue and Brett. Woohoo!
We good? All good.
Okay, just
slowly. I've been told slowly. With Grace, if you're wondering what we're talking about when Grace and I walked in, she was going slowly, slowly. I think that's fantastic. One of the great things about being last cab off the rank with the speeches means that we can do the rebuttal or the refuting. And look, it's been great. The only thing I'd like to know is where do we fit in the white bogan spectrum, Kate? Sort of upper middle bogan. Okay, great. Thanks, mate. Yeah, I appreciate the way character assassination on the whole family. Fantastic. Okay. Good job. Okay, look, I'm going to talk seriously, which doesn't happen very often for me, but I just feel a need to tonight. So, firstly, I want to welcome everybody here. It's just fantastic seeing so many people, meeting a truckload of new people for the first time too. You know, it's, sorry if I forget your name 4 or 5 times, but you know, I recognise the face. Wayne, isn't it? Yeah, Fred. Okay, good. I'd also like to take the opportunity, as others did, to acknowledge the land that we stand on. It's actually the Durga Skin Group and the Kuri group that look after this land still and have done for many years. So just acknowledge the people that have been here before, the elders that have looked after it in the past, the people that are looking after it as best they can now, and the elders that will come in the future and what they might do so that we can all come back here and enjoy this fantastic neck of the woods and understand it better. Today it really is a pleasure for us to say some brief words about Josh, but also about Adele and Max. Sorry guys, you're kissing them. And also what you've come to mean us, and we're actually mean to us, and we're delighted to be able to do that. That's really a privilege, I think, at this point. So, and it really goes without saying, so that means you've got to say it, that we're really proud of where Josh and Grace have got to and where you are now. And we're really pleased to be able to share in the happiness that you guys share. And that was really obvious. I've never seen you two look so bloody happy. It's fantastic. While I'm thinking about the live stream, if you're still awake over there in Perth, hi. If you're still in Melbourne, Israel, wherever else, I just want to acknowledge that there are people that didn't make it today for a whole variety of reasons. So I really do think that we're the luckiest people in the world to have Josh joining our family today. I think it's great. It's really good. No, you've done well. Okay. But I also, in turn, want to acknowledge that, you know, Grace, you're joining a family today too. You know, an extended family. You're joining Josh's family, which is a great thing. And I've got to say, you know, the people have been very welcoming to Susie and I tonight that haven't seen us before but know about us, etc., etc. It's been really nice. I've enjoyed it. And, you know, over the years, and we talk about Josh for a second, we've come to know Josh as a very loving person, very capable person. He's a caring young man. Because you can call a young man someone old fart, apparently. Get that a lot from him. You've got a quick intellect, a very dry sense of humour. Does take a while for it to figure it out what he's talking about. But, you know, the thing that really sprung it for me quite some time ago was when my mum, Grace's grandma, said, I'll quote, it's in inverted commas, he is a good lad. And that's all I needed to know, that it wasn't so much mum's blessing, but she's usually right when she susses people out, and I think she got it right with you, mate. Well done, you. You impressed Grandma. That's no mean feat, mate. Okay. I think also parents always want the best for their children. That's just natural. That's what we do. And at Grace, it seems like you found a bestie, a new bestie, a best bestie. Sorry, guys. He's it, okay? And that's probably a bestie in more ways than one. Josh, we get a sense that Josh treasures Grace as much as we do. And in a sense, that's great. So we're blessed to have you, and we're blessed that you found Grace. It's great. Really like that idea. But it also so that good men and women are grown by good parents. They don't happen by their parents and their families, the extended families, the community they live in. And so it's been an absolute pleasure to meet with Max, Adele, Rebecca, and the rest of the family. Thanks, Adele, for the little tip to Beck tonight. It was fantastic. So it's been really nice to get connected to the wider family and understand where you come from, Josh, and how you managed to be the person you are. And I guess too, Max and Adele, you've got to be pretty proud today in terms of justifiably proud of Josh, and it's just a credit to you that you raised such a, and I've got to read this one because you're counting and you're reading, so I've got to do it. Strong, somebody knows his own mind. You've got strong, clear boundaries about what's important, what's not important, and how I'm going to do it. But at the same time, you're also empathic and sensitive to the needs of others. It's a pretty rare combination. And I think we're pretty pleased to have Josh as our son-in-law. I can actually say that now, about bloody time. Yeah. And that our two families are joining together. So, Max and Adele, you've raised a fine young man. Well done, you. But Grace, you found yourself a Josh. Okay, so on that, I'm just wondering, Josh, if you'd like to come up here. It is absolutely painless, but I'm just going to hand over to Sue. Yeah.
I'm terrified.
Oh, no, you don't need to be. Thanks, Brett. So, although you have known Grace for some time, we thought it might be helpful for you to have a bit of a toolkit under your belt.
Okay. Oh no, there's props.
No, not yet, not yet. As you begin your marriage journey together, this toolkit aims to shape your existing skill set to be marriage ready.
Okay.
To make it easier to draw on this toolkit, we've made a little acronym to help you remember. And the acronym is JOSH. JOSH. You got it?
Yeah. Kept getting that wrong. Yeah.
So let's start with J. Now, it is said that it's a woman's prerogative to change her mind. We know Grace is expert at this. When was the last time Grace changed her mind?
Just before.
Yeah. Right. And what happens when she changes her mind?
It's my fault.
Okay. So, but I'm assuming you have to adjust. You have to respond differently. You have to attend to.
Yes.
Okay. So.
You mean support?
No. We'll get to that. So J is for juggling.
Okay.
The Oxford Dictionary describes juggling as, quote, performing feats of dexterity to rearrange adroitly, to bring, get or change, sometimes a trickster. So we thought that in preparation for your marriage toolkit, you could begin by practicing by juggling these balls.
Oh, no. I can't juggle.
It'd be very short, I promise you. Do your best. Brett will help you. Brett, you go that way. You keep going with it.
You're going to keep going.
Okay.
He's going to keep going.
So we move on in the toolkit. We all know that Josh is very considerate and helpful. In your toolkit, O stands for obliging. The dictionary defines obliging as being courteous, accommodating, and being ready to do a service of kindness. But also to be indebted by conferring favour, to perform a service, and to make a contribution. Joe, we know... Sorry. You spelled it. Sorry. Sorry. Josh, we know that you can be obliging as well as being an adequate juggler. In helping Grace around the house, you can practice this skill set. So we need to give Josh the broom now. He's going to be obliging. So while you...
Hands on your ball, son.
While you're juggling, you can do that in an obliging way. S is for serenity. Being... All right, sit. Being serene. Being serene is defined in the dictionary as an expanse of clear or calm sea, sky and air. Come back. Are you listening to this? Peaceful, clear and calm, unruffled, tranquil, placid, unperturbed. As you deploy your toolkit, it will be important that you do so in a serene and placid manner. These lavender sachets will help to remind you of this. Lastly, this is the last one, okay? And lastly, H is, of course, for husband. To husband is defined in the dictionary as to carefully manage affairs. Sorry. To manage thriftfully, use economically, to cultivate, plant, to husband the field, to be a farmer.
It's got a plough. No, it's got a rake.
Put that in the other hand. And there we have it, the Josh Toolkit. Round of applause. We would like to finish by proposing a toast to Max and Adele, who raised this Josh. To Max and Adele. Thank you. There you go.
I'm not sure if any of you got to see Grace's face during that speech, but she was very unimpressed. So our last speakers of the night, not sure you may know them, Grace and Josh. Woo!
Thank you, everyone. I was going to get up here and refute that upper middle bogan thing, but then my dad got up with a crumpled Coles bag, and I was like... So I guess this is where we are now. Welcome. I think I wanted to thank everyone, most of all, for weathering border closures and a pandemic and a La Nina to get to our wedding. Like, congratulations, all of you, for actually making it down that road and getting here. I'm so pleased we get to spend this time together, and to the contingent in Perth and everywhere across the globe, we're going to see you guys really soon, whether it's at Mylup Beach or in the UK or wherever else it may be. Thank you, and we are looking forward to seeing you. Quick thank yous, because I know that everyone's done with my over-communication. You have all received like 7 to 12 emails from me about accommodation and allocation and what you might want to eat or not eat, so I'll keep it brief. First of all, I wanted to thank Holly, because not only has she been an excellent MC, I think at some point today I texted her and said, I need 12 mini tomatoes right now, and she brought them to me straight away. So thank you so much for everything you have done today. It has been invaluable. Next, people I wanted to thank are my bridesmaids. Thank you so much for getting up here. Thank you so much, ladies, for not only driving me out to Pete's Ridge in a monsoon to do horse riding, but travelling interstate, arriving here today, putting up with my hair and makeup requests. Don't they look really beautiful? Thank you so much for being here. I'm not going to go down that road or I'll just cry again like I did out there. And then once it starts, it doesn't stop. And the last people I'd like to thank are Mum and Dad. Mum and Dad left Perth in November in their caravan to trek across the Nullarbor to be here.
It didn't take them that long.
No. They really did. There is so much I'd like to say, but please raise a glass to Brett and Sue for getting here, for raising me, and just for being the best parents ever.
You okay?
Thanks, guys.
Oh. You all right?
Yep, carry on.
All right. All right, I'll get my thank yous out of the way real quick too. So thank you to Chris. Thank you so much. We had a very stressful period there, but you made it, and I'm so grateful. I'm eternally grateful. The support you've given me both abroad and here in the last few days, I'll be eternally grateful for. So thank you. And thank you for not entirely roasting me as well. Yeah. You're right, I'm great. Yeah, you're right, I'm also boring, it's true. There's a few other people I'd like to thank. I'd also like to thank everyone at home. Thank you for joining us and being a part of our day today. I know there's a lot of you there who couldn't quite make it, but we're so grateful that you can join us through the power of technology, and we can't wait to catch up with you soon. I'd also like to give a special shout out to Richard and Adi, who came all the way from Israel. Keeping up the family tradition of showing up at Simchas, so thank you. And finally, I'd like to thank my parents. Thank you so much for all your love and support and your involvement and your ideas and everything you've contributed to today and generally throughout my life. Thank you. So, as everyone knows, there's a huge part of our family missing today in Rebecca. The last time I saw Beck was actually at our engagement party in Perth, and that was just the most wonderful day. She was an unbelievably positive person, and she would be so excited to see everyone here today celebrating for such an occasion after such a tumultuous couple of years that we've had. She would be so thrilled. She was unbelievably positive, so she certainly wouldn't want to bring the mood down at such a party. She'd be like prime spot on the dance floor. Like she'd be churning it out. So I just want to I've forgotten what I was saying now. But she's certainly in all of our thoughts, and we certainly miss her dearly. And I'd just also like to take this opportunity to thank Jack for coming all the way from Broome to be with us today. Thank you. It means the absolute world that you could be with us today and that you're part of our family. For those of you who don't know, there are a couple of nods that we have to Beck today. The biggest one is the pocket squares. She was a Gorman fiend, I'd say. She loved Gorman, so we're wearing Gorman napkins. And I'm also wearing a pair of socks with her dog's face on them. So, yeah. So she might not be here with us, but she's certainly here in spirit. You okay?
Yep.
Yeah?
Carry on.
Now onto my wife. Yeah. Hi, wife. It's kind of novel. Until it's not anymore. Yeah. I admire your endless energy, your ambition, and the support you've given me. You're absolutely incredible. I simply don't understand how you take on the things you take on and continue to deliver. It's remarkable. Like the wedding, changing jobs, changing universities, in a PhD. And you continue to deliver, and it's amazing. And you continue to inspire me to be the best person that I can be. Your support is endless and unbounded. You're always there for me. If I need you, you'll pick up the phone and be there for me. And for that, I love you more than anyone. I love spending time with you, and now that we can, I cannot wait to travel with you. And you inspire me to be a better person every day, and I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you. Got it. Do you want to say your bit now? So that's it from me. So thank you, everyone. I've stitched her up good. Enjoy the rest of the night, and thank you so much for being here.
I have one last thank you that I forgot to say before. I just wanted to say a super quick thank you to all of our vendors for being here, our photographers, our caterers, our live streamers who have been dealing with our, it's going to rain, it's not going to rain, inside, outside. So if you do see someone walking around with a camera or a plate of food or a bottle of wine, please say thank you to them, because they've just been wonderful to us. And Josh wrote this really lovely thing to me, but the thing I wrote to you: to my new husband, Josh, I want you to know that I will give you just as much love and attention as I give to Pepper.
Good deal. Good deal.
So thank you all so much. I think we're going to do some cake cutting now. Taking Holly's bit. Thank you, everyone, for coming here.
You guys can stay up if you want. You got it. You got this. Yeah, thank God that's there. I need that. You do. Wow, thanks, guys. Aren't you gorgeous? So Josh and Grace are now going to be cutting the cake. Pieces will come around. Here we go. Here we go. That's part of his toolkit. Grace and Josh are going to be cutting the cake now. Pieces will come around to you after they've been cut out the back. And then we're all going to move over to the dance floor. And if you could make a circle around, grab a drink, circle around the dance floor, and we'll get the party started.
How sweet it is to be loved by you. Yes, baby. Of someone's arms, and there you. I need someone to understand my ups and downs. Can you hear me?